You are watching Conscious Evolution with Wes Heffernan.
It can be. It can be. It can be a business. It's more about us, what structure it is for us may be different than what the structure is for, someone else. Ultimately, yes, I think of this on three different levels. Like I have me at home, my family, my kids, my structure, what we're doing there. And then I have, kind of skip the middle, but then I have my major goals, which are, most people would, in fact, I thought for a long time were pipe dreams until I began to get to a place where some things that used to be pipe dreams are now feasible, right? There's still a lot of pipe dreams in my goals. And one thing I know for sure about my goals is I can't accomplish them, not by myself. There's no way. There's no way. And so the structure, this middle structure that I'm trying to build is to allow those that are of like mind, those that find interest in, those that are driven by, those that have this raises questions in, to come in and let's build together, right? Like it's gonna take a long time. This isn't a quick thing. But if we don't start, and I say that as if we aren't already starting, you can't, like nature's gonna take its journey. It's gonna take its own path. Consciousness is in its own path, right? Now we are a microcosmic representation of the macrocosmic form of consciousness, and it inserts itself in total, but in a small part, a drop of the ocean, into us as an individual. And its feedback mechanism, because the only place that you can experience or feel anything is right here in the physical plane. Whether there's other planets out there, like we could get into that, but you know what, it doesn't matter, right? Earth, for us, is the only place that we can experience and feel love. It's the only place we can experience and feel pain. It's the only place we can grow, evolve, and understand who we are. And honestly, what was the question that God asked that created all this? Who am I? I am. It's that simple.
Great I am.
It's that simple. So what my journey in life has been about has been to back, you can't see the whole truth. It's too much, right? You can't take the whole capital T truth in. You need to find your lowercase, your micro version of that truth. And it's even too much to turn and look straight at. So you kind of have to back your way into it, right? And so that great light that's behind us, that is source consciousness, that we can't, the capital T truth, we have to see it through one of two ways. We either see it through the shadow that we create, which is what life is not, right? It's the lack of light, or we see it in the reflection of everything else, right? Which is all of this. Whether it's in this level, or we look out at the stars, or we look out, throughout the galaxy.
You said a little earlier about coming together, we can change the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that you said other like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
How do you connect and find other people who feel and have the same passion and journey as you?
So now we're sitting right to what we're doing. And to share and to find a platform in which to share where you can get feedback, right? It's because it's about that feedback loop. And I know there are others like me doing similar things, but no matter where I look, it always seems to come back down to the fact that they're still missing this piece, they're missing this component, they're missing that complete, what's the right word? Not sacrifice, but submission to their heart, right? They haven't fully submitted to that woman in their life, or whatever, to the love that, they haven't fully said, you know what? It's hard for me to believe that this is who I am, but man, what if this is really, like, let's do it. I'm going to go all in. And so and that relates to you can have the map, you can have all the information, but if you don't have the accurate key to understand all of that, then it's out of balance. And the only way you can be granted this key is by that matriarchal aspect, right? And I say that very loosely, because it doesn't necessarily translate into a man and a woman, right? It can be, there are plenty of females that radiate with masculine energy, and there's plenty of males that radiate with feminine, or that are more in tune with feminine energy. And so by no means am I saying it has to be a man and a woman, but it does have to be a masculine energy and a feminine energy coming together. And that's where, if you take the journey far enough, long enough, you'll eventually find the key to unlocking a fuller understanding of the capital T truth.
Do you have a name for what you're trying to create? Is there I know conscious evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is that, I know that's the subject matter, it's the title of the video possibly.
Right.
Is there through your time of thinking through this over the last few decades, is there like an exclamation point, like this is what the goal is?
Well, so the goal, we've been dancing around that. Like, if you want to know what my ultimate goal is, it's to bring Eden to Earth. Eden to Earth. Bring the garden back, right? And in order to do that, we have to, a chain is only strong as its weakest link, right? And so if you want to be greater than what we currently are as a collective of individuals, we have to go and not think, well, how does this great person become greater? We have to go down. We have to go into the muck and find those weakest points, right? And we have to look at that, and we have to say, how can we bring you up? Because by bringing you up, we all come up. And so, going back to when we were talking about my mom, with her being adopted, I have a couple passions, and one is to kind of sort of maybe look at trying to privatize the foster care system and utilize a structure in which to provide a space for these children to understand and come to know and feel that they're important, that they're loved, and that they can be loved, and that they can be a doctor or a lawyer or an Indian chief,
My oldest daughter is adopted.
Is she? Okay. Well, that's cool. There's a lot we can kind of relate to in a lot of this. And then, I've thought about it long and hard, and maybe some of that passion is because, while it didn't seem all that significant to me, but I kind of play in that same role. Like, I was lucky to have these grandparents that weren't my biological grandparents to instill something within me that has created a passion to have us sitting in front of these cameras right now. And so, number one is to privatize the foster care system. I backed off of that as number one because I was like, who's going to let me have all these kids? Like, I have I have nothing in education. Who's going to teach them? So I backed down. I was like, well, let's go to the homeless. And that's where I want to start. And all of this that we're doing with YouTube, all of this, anything having to do with this story that we're telling, is going into something larger. And what I want to call that project is Project Infinite Impact. And that's the inner workings of the structure to ensure that the structure that we build this time is filled with passion and filled with love, and that the vacuum is done away with that allows all these aspects that we don't want to be in there. And that does not mean we can do away with those things, right? the possibility for them to exist will always be there. It's a part of life.
Thanks for watching. Join us next time on Conscious Evolution. Don't forget to subscribe.